kind of hungry. There's always a couple options out there. You can have a nutty bar. I'm even going to have one of these, but I want something a little better. You know what? I need something with some meat. Like Coach Lean meat. So, you know what? I'm going to ask my buddy Bento. Go ask him to go make me some of his great beef jerky. We have a great recipe, but he makes it better. Let's go see how he does it. Okay, the star of the show is going to be our London Broil. Normally I do 3 pound. This one's going to be 1.5 pounds due to the holiday. I'll just make a small batch. And next thing we'll do is we're going to put it in the freezer for 2 hours, and that will make it a little stiff and make it really easy to cut. Otherwise it's really difficult to cut this. Okay, let's take our London Broil. We're going to put it in the freezer. We're going to set our timer. 2 hours. And I'll see you then. So here's our ingredients for their marinade, and they will be listed in the description below. So we have the soy sauce, the vinegar, the Worcestershire sauce, garlic and onion powder, our accent, our white pepper, and then below that is the brown sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the dry ingredients first here. Sorry if my hand's in the way there for a sec, but I think we all know how to get this done. Okay. Let's break that up a little bit. I packed it in a little too tight. And we're just going to incorporate all of these and mix them up and get ready for the meats. There we are. Now since the meat still has a couple hours in the freezer, what I like to do is when I add everything here is just blitz it in the microwave for about 20-30 seconds to help dissolve the sugars so that they get incorporated all the way. Just add that in there. And then mix it up real good. Like I said, when you're done there, I have to go ahead and give it a quick blitz, and then it'll be ready to go for when the meat gets sliced. Okay, our 2 hours is over. Now we can go ahead and pull our steak out of the freezer. Okay, I like to wear gloves when I do this. One, because it is raw meat. 2, well, it's pretty cold. I mean, it's all but freezing in there. So, wear this extra layer. I also use them when I barbecue. Keep me from getting burnt, but today it'll keep me from getting my hands cold. Okay, that's close enough. Got a little bit of excess there on the tips, but so we'll take out the steak. Unwrap it. There it is. Look at that. Let's get rid of all that. I like to dry it off. Okay. All right, let's get all this off of here. Now there's a couple little fat spots I like to get rid of. The fat doesn't do good when it's dehydrated and left out. It gets kind of rancid. So you got a little spot over here. You can just trim up a little bit. Of course, be careful with the sharp knife. Let's get rid of that. And this big piece here. Alright, let's get rid of that. And I saw something on the other side. And it was just loose, just stuck to it. Okay, the rest are marbled in. So let's go ahead in here where you can see where the grain is going this way. So we're going to cut across it. So let me get rid of this. And you can You can really tell, but it's kind of stiff. It's not frozen. We don't want it frozen because then it's way too hard to cut through. And then I have a little container. Kind of hard to see. It's clear. But what we're going to do is we're going to slice the steak relatively thin. Try to get them uniform. It's not going to be perfect, and that's what makes the beef jerky so good. It's not going to be like store-bought perfect slices like it came out of a mold or is formed, but just try and get them uniformly cut. That one's a little thicker, so I'll have to try a little harder over here. Take your time and cut through. So there you go. That's how you do it. So we're going to cut the whole steak up here and put them into my little container, and then we'll add the marinade. Mix them up real good, and then I like to go ahead and store that in the fridge overnight. So let's go ahead and come back when we get this cut up. Okay, when you get down to the end, it gets kind of small, and then these pieces are really hard. See, it's almost hard to cut, so be careful and safe. But reality is they don't really now match the rest of the cut pieces. They're going to be too small and it'll hydrate too fast. And so what I like to do is just kind of slightly chop them up a little bit. But I'm not going to throw it away. It's a nice good end here. But what I like to do is put them in little chunks like this, little slices, and I'm going to make some fancy ramen. And then I'll just quickly put that in the broth, do a quick boil and cook them, and then enjoy them that way. So let me go ahead and make this one a little more uniform with the rest of them. So don't throw that out. So I'm going to go ahead and bag that up and save that for a better dish later. Okay, here's our marinade from earlier. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. Sometimes everything kind of settles a little bit. And then I'm just going to pour it right in here. Just get it in there. Now here's the other good part of wearing a glove. So we want to go ahead and mix this up to make sure everything gets coated. Otherwise the meat will stick together and then it won't really get in the marinade. You'll have like a liquid lock with other pieces of meat. So just get in there and mix them up nicely. Just take your time. Be gentle with them because they'll rip. They're not very, they're not cut very thick. But you can see they're nice and uniform, give or take. And mix them up, and then we're going to go ahead and just cover this up. I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it marinate overnight, and tomorrow I'll dehydrate it. And every so often I'll actually open it up and do the same thing here. Mix them up here. You can see where these are all stuck together. Just kind of loosen them up and move them around, and then make sure when you're ready to put it away, everything's basically in the marinade. Just kind of cover them up a little bit here. Oh, watch that splashing. It's going all wild over here. We're having a party. So there we are. Alright, so I'll see you guys tomorrow when I go ahead and start dehydrating. It's been overnight, more like 24 hours. The meat's been marinating. There it is, looks good. What I like to do to start is I like to go ahead and drain it. So I just put it in a colander, let it drain, because we got to dry it out. There's no sense letting it sit in its own marinade, and you don't need to save that. So let that drain for a few minutes, and then I'll show you how I put it all together. Okay, the meat's been draining, and what I like to do is put it on paper towels. So I put my glove back on, one, because this stuff's wet, and then it is still raw meat. So what I do is I get a paper towel. It's double lined, it's folded in half, so it's 2 of them, and I just go ahead and put it all out here. So I'm just going to do a few to show you. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole bit here, and then I take another half one and I dot the top so it's dry on both sides. And then you just put them on your dehydrator sheets. If you don't have the dehydrator, you can put them on like baking sheets with little racks, like cooling racks, and set it to your oven to one of the lowest settings, 200. If you can get it a little bit less, like 170, that's what I'm going to set my dehydrator to, 170 Fahrenheit. So just keep on going, fill them up. They can slightly touch, but don't let them overlap, because you want to make sure you get the airflow. So we'll go ahead and finish this up. This is going to take a few minutes, so no, I'm not going to bore you with that. Okay, we got our last couple slices to go on here. Here's my tray. Let me get rid of this. Give me just a sec. Pull my glove off. And then I put my lid on. And I have it set to the highest setting here for meats and fish. And then we're going to plug it in, and it's going to take a few hours. So don't be in a hurry. Take a look at it every now and then. Rotate the trays. But here you go. Set it and forget it. We'll check on this a little bit later. Okay, let's see if they're done. I just unplugged this. So I can take a look here. Look at them. The little thicker ones are just a little bit soft. Not completely dried out, but some of these other ones are. Here's a real thin little one. This one's kind of dry, but that's what we're looking for. I'm thinking they're done. Let me test it. Oh yeah. That's how to do it. I'm going to show this to Coach, see what he has to say. But this is the real deal here. Please try it. Like and subscribe and make any comments down below, but definitely give this a shot. It's easy. This small batch took obviously a lot less time. Only a few hours. When I do the big full batch, usually about 4 hours, give or take. So, yep, please try it. Okay, one last thing. I let these cool down to room temperature. I'll go ahead and take the trays off and let them just cool down. And then when I'm done, I just get a little Ziploc bag and put them in. I do store mine in the fridge just to prolong them. Even though it's dried out and they're heavily salted, they should last quite a while at room temperature. But I go ahead and keep them in the fridge just in case. And just, yeah, please enjoy them. Okay, man, that Bento sure can make some beef jerky. He gave me this little bag. Got a little baggie. But I took a piece out. Man. That was so good. That teriyaki flavor. It's got a little bit of heat. Yum. That is good. That is good. It's sweet. A little spicy. It's good. Tastes good. Just make you feel good. And it's low carb. Dang, is it good. Man. Coach, lean me out.